Why charting? Charting disintermediates financial news from reality. Now, my friends, when you first hear that, you might not quite grasp how powerful that quote is. Why charting? And disintermediation, what is that? Well, that reduces or eliminates the use of an intermediary. Now, put all that together. It disintermediates financial news from reality, meaning you don't ever hear me talking about the news here, do you? The reason I rarely, if ever, talk about the news is because I don't need them. I have reduced or eliminated this intermediator from telling me what's actually happening. And by that, I'm looking real time when the markets open at actual reality. What's going on with prices? I can see it. I can look. I can listen. I can watch. I can actually see the charts moving. And I can listen to myself explaining why it's doing what it's doing and what it's actually doing. That's why it's so important to understand the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, to understand the volume metrics, to understand how we draw trend lines and how we use them. So we have great training available. I hope that you subscribe at chartingwealth.com. And by subscribing at Charting Wealth every day, you will get one of the many trainings that we put out. Occasionally, I will teach a training and let folks sign up for it. I'll try to do one probably at the beginning of the year. And again, the best, I'll put it at the end of today's video. It is our 3-wave trading technique. And of course, if you don't have the book, the way to get the book is to become a Patreon member. Let's jump into these charts. We see that this is a day where everything is up. Bitcoin rebounding some, stocks are up some, bonds even, and gold. Let's jump first, as we always do, into the S&P 500. Now, we had things top right there at average volume. You can go back to the 27th of October. Then we had two what I call dead weeks. We had a green doji, then we had a red doji. And I pulled the trigger on a down move after that. And of course, we had nice volume last week where things really started to move down. This week, where are we? We have a green spinning top. We can see where the wick now has pushed through the weekly trend line, just the wick. The candle itself is still below, and it's just a spinning top. We can see volume. This is a shortened trading week. By the way, for those of you, we appreciate all of our foreign listeners who are not here in the U.S. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. As you listen to this, maybe on Thursday, we are closed. Thanksgiving holidays are taking place. Markets are not open. They will be open on Friday. They will close early. Stock market will be open until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the bond market will be open until 2. But we're going to be tracking, of course, what? The ETF that represents bonds. And, of course, the ETFs for S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100. And, of course, Bitcoin, which trades 24/7. Now, as we look at, and gold, we'll be also following the gold ETF. As we look at what's happening on the 2-day chart, first day of the latest 2-day candle, not a lot of volume there. You can see there's not been average volume. Have to go all the way back to last Thursday. And that is where things really peaked down. And of course, we have seen things moving up since Friday afternoon and did push through in the morning and sustain that in the afternoon, pushing through the weekly trend line. Now, I've said that's not much of a trend line. It's almost flat. But again, pushing through on both the half day and the 2-day. Not on the weekly yet, but for the wick. So we will keep an eye on things, particularly on Friday morning, to see, does the market roll back over? It has that downward pressure. Maybe it doesn't. We shall see as we continue to track along. We're not in a losing position in any way yet, but we are watching, waiting, seeing if indeed the slide's not going to happen yet. We've seen a couple of almosts. We saw that happen back in early October. We also saw the market slide sideways for, almost 3 weeks back in late July, early August. Then it took off again. Also saw a bit of a pullback for a week in the beginning of September. So we'll continue to keep an eye on things and see how many more legs this market has, but has been showing significant weakness going into the fourth week. Now, that is where we are on the S&P. NASDAQ 100, somewhat similar. We have a doji here, a red doji for the week. We can see where volume is well below average after a huge week last week with that plunge down. This is what I pulled the trigger on, was on the Qs. So we will keep an eye on that. We have a green up candle on the 2-day. Not a lot of volume. Not a lot of volume for the last day and a half on the half-day chart, but it pushed through in the morning and sustained that push through in the afternoon. Again, a better trend line. By trend lines, I mean tracking either up or down, not just flat. So the trend line's a little bit better on the NASDAQ. Not a great trend line regardless, but that is where we are. So we are watching, paying attention to see if things are going to continue moving down. Where are we on bonds? Well, we talked about how bonds crossed over, moving up. Want to see where we get to on volume this week, because we did have a lower low last week. Not a big candle, not the kind of lows we like to see where things really push and we show lots of exhaustion, but we did have average volume. We look at where we are on the 2-day candle. We see the high on the prior 2-day candle, 90.59, 90.64. So we've gone a little bit higher. Volume, it's not super strong. We'll see if it reaches average on Friday. And as we look at what's going on with the half day, we can see that indeed we had above average volume in the morning, and in the afternoon a big doji in the morning, but then pushed up some 0.44% overall up for the day. So maybe bonds are turning around. Not anything to write home about. Don't have huge volume, just a roaring showing you things have flipped around. What do we see going on with gold? Gold is up 0.80%. We had those 2 weeks of down movement. Then we had gold switch over. Hasn't gotten near that prior high. I'm not talking the high of highs, the most recent high that we saw back on the week beginning the 20th of October. But the interim high where things moved around on the week beginning the 10th, that high was 388.18 last week, 380.17 this week, 383. So we're not near that high back on the 10th of November. Things are trying to track up on gold. We see green candles, a doji last week, and this green up candle this week. The volume has been dropping off precipitously. We can see the 2-day volume hasn't been average since the 27th of October on a down move there. We can see where things tracked along for many days, and starting on Monday, started moving up away from the weekly trend line. Again, a weak weekly trend line, but did start moving up nonetheless. So we'll keep an eye on gold, see if it catches fire. Bitcoin, of course, has been tracking down since that high of highs back on the week beginning the 6th of October, and then just dropped off, heading down strongly. Last week, a big down week with lots of volume. We're already almost up to average volume, and it's just Wednesday. Haven't reached a lower low yet. We have a doji for the first day of the latest 2-day candle, not so much volume. We saw below average volume in the morning, average volume in the afternoon, still well below the weekly trend line on both the 2-day and the half day. So we'll be paying attention to what happens on Friday, see if these markets continue to have a little fire on them, or if that wears off after the Thanksgiving holiday, and particularly what they do this next week as we roll into the Christmas season. We always love hearing from you. cw@chartingwealth.com. Thank you so much. And again, Patreon friends, we, of course, will be sending out to you, as we always do, our Trade Execution Summary Grid, our 5-day plus analysis. Now, again, as we look at that analysis, we balance what the numbers show us against what we know and what we talk about as we see on the charts. Keep all of that in mind. Running numbers is one thing. Our experience and what we see in the charts and how we use that information is another. Because if it was simply running numbers and trading off of those, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be developing our expertise in order to read the charts versus just running numbers, doing math, and then making trades. That's not what we do. Trading is both an art form and a science, and we want to employ both and use our knowledge of the charts. That's why we ask you to be with us each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes. And again, balance what you see from the numbers that we run in the trade execution summary grid, what we tell you about what we are seeing with the various charting techniques, what we're seeing in the candlesticks and price movement and volume. Put all that together and make your decisions for your practice trades. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth, and happy Thanksgiving.